Are you trying to save money every month? And the real question is, are you actually able to do it? If the answer is no, this video is for you. I am Vish. Welcome to Vish Invest. Real money, real examples, no shortcuts. Today we are going inside your brain to find out exactly why saving feels impossible and what to actually do about it. Because the problem is not your salary. It is not your discipline. It is not that you are bad with money. It is your brain. And nobody told you that. Alex has tried to save money 17 times, not once or twice, 17 times. He has made the budget, set the goal, opened the savings account, told himself this time is different. And every single time, within 60 days, the money is gone. Not stolen, not wasted on anything dramatic, just gone. Into meals he does not remember, purchases he cannot explain, subscriptions he forgot existed. Alex is not irresponsible. He is not lazy. His brain is working against him. And nobody told him that either. Because the reason most people cannot save money has nothing to do with income, nothing to do with discipline, and everything to do with 3 psychological forces that were never designed to help you build wealth. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is happening inside your own head every time you try to save and fail. And more importantly, you will know the only 3 things that actually work against each force. The first force is called present bias, and it is the reason Alex's brain treats his future self like a complete stranger. Here is how it works. Researchers at Harvard and Stanford spent decades studying why people consistently choose small rewards now over large rewards later. What they found is that your brain does not process your future self the way it processes you today. Brain scans show that when you think about yourself in 10 years, the areas of your brain that activate are the same areas that activate when you think about a stranger. Not a friend. Not a family member. A stranger. This means that when Alex is deciding between buying something today or saving for his future, his brain is literally making a decision between himself and someone he has never met. And we always prioritize ourselves over strangers. Always. This is why every budget Alex has ever made falls apart within 60 days. On the day he makes the budget, it is easy. The future feels close, and the goal feels real. But 3 weeks later, when he is standing in a restaurant deciding whether to order the expensive meal or save the money, his brain does not connect that saving decision to the version of himself who will be grateful in 10 years. It connects it to a stranger, and he orders the meal. Every time. Not because he is weak, because his brain was not designed to do anything else. The practical evidence for this is everywhere. A study published in the Journal of Political Economy followed 900 employees who were offered a retirement savings program. The program worked by automating contributions from future raises rather than current income. The result was extraordinary. Employees who signed up saved 3 to 4 times more over the following 5 years than those who chose themselves when to start. The secret was not willpower. The secret was that the program removed the moment of choice entirely. The money moved before Alex's brain could treat his future self like a stranger and override the decision. The second force is called loss aversion, and it is the reason Alex's brain genuinely panics every time he tries to save. Research by Nobel Prize winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman established something that most people feel but nobody explains clearly. Human beings feel the pain of losing money approximately 2 to 2.5 times more intensely than the pleasure of gaining the same amount. This is not a personality trait. It is a hardwired feature of how the human brain processes risk. It means that losing $200 hurts more than twice as much as gaining $200 feels good. And it means that every time Alex moves money into a savings account, his brain experiences that as a loss, not a gain. A loss. The money is gone from his account. It is somewhere else. Something bad has happened. That is the signal his brain sends, and the brain responds to that signal by trying to get the money back. This is why Alex's savings account empties itself within 60 days of being filled. His brain did not see building an emergency fund. It saw losing money, and it found 100 small reasons over the following weeks to get that money back, each one individually reasonable, collectively devastating. A car repair here, a birthday dinner there, A week where things were tight. Each transaction felt justified. Each transaction was his brain responding to the perceived loss of saving. Kahneman's research shows that the only way to override loss aversion when it comes to saving is to remove the perception of loss entirely. The money cannot feel like it is leaving. It cannot feel like a decision. It has to disappear before Alex can feel it go. This is not a theory, it is a mechanism, and the mechanism has only one reliable solution. The third force is the most invisible and, arguably, the most destructive. It is called social comparison, and it is the reason Alex's salary keeps rising and his savings keep staying the same. The human brain is a comparison machine. It does not evaluate your financial situation in absolute terms. It evaluates it relative to the people around you. This was useful when we lived in small tribes and keeping up with the group determined survival. In 2026, it is financially ruinous. A study published in the Journal of Behavioral Decision-Making found that nearly 40% of people report making purchases specifically to match the spending of their social circle. Not because they wanted the item, not because they could afford it, but because someone in their immediate environment had it. 40%. That is not a small number. That is almost half of everyone you know making financial decisions based on a psychological reflex, rather than a genuine need or desire. Alex got a raise 18 months ago. A real raise. 900 rupees more per month after tax. For 3 weeks he felt genuinely ahead. Then his colleague mentioned his new phone. Then his friend posted holiday photos. Then his sister upgraded her car. Within 90 days, every rupee of the raise had been absorbed, not into one big purchase, into a dozen small upgrades, each one individually justifiable, collectively amounting to his salary rising and his savings rate staying exactly where it was. His brain had compared his situation to the people around him, found the gap and closed it. Not deliberately, automatically. This is why income alone never solves a savings problem. Every raise gets comparison tested against the social environment and adjusted accordingly. The brain does not say, I am earning more, so I can save more. The brain says, I am earning more, so I can close the gap between me and the people I am comparing myself to. And the gap never closes. Because the people you compare yourself to are also getting raises and also closing their own gaps. The comparison machine runs forever, and the savings account stays empty. So here is what actually works. And this is the part nobody talks about clearly enough. Against present bias, the only reliable solution is automation. Not discipline, not motivation. Automation. Alex sets up an automatic transfer on the same day his salary arrives, before he can see the money. Before his brain can decide between himself and his stranger, future self. The decision is made once and executed forever. The Harvard study showed employees saved 3 to 4 times more through this mechanism alone. Not 3 to 4% more, 3 to 4 times more. The transfer happens before present bias can activate. Against loss aversion, the solution is to never let saving feel like losing. The money moves to an account Alex cannot see on his main banking app. It has a name, emergency fund or future Alex fund, not just a number. Naming the account converts the money from a loss to a goal. Research shows that named savings accounts have a significantly higher retention rate than unnamed ones because the brain processes goal-directed money differently from departed money. The money did not leave. It is somewhere specific, doing something specific for a future that now has a name. Against social comparison, the solution is to stop measuring wealth against consumption and start measuring it against net worth. Alex does this once a month. He does not check what his friends are spending. He checks his own net worth, assets minus liabilities, and compares it to last month. The comparison machine in his brain still runs. But it is now comparing his present net worth to his past net worth instead of his phone to his colleague's phone. The comparison works in his favor because the only person he is now measuring against is himself 12 months ago. By month 6 of applying all 3, Alex had saved more money than in the previous 4 years combined. Not because he earned more, not because he developed superhuman discipline, because he finally understood that the problem was never motivation. The problem was his brain. And once you know how your brain actually works, you can stop fighting it and start working with it instead. If this video finally explained something you have felt but never been able to name, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to know exactly where to put the money once your brain stops sabotaging the saving of it, go watch our video on the fastest way you can live off dividends. It is on your screen right now. I will see you there.